But because of my usual practice, which has been, for me, available to you for today or a day like this.
Now, these updates will cover from the 3rd to 15th of December. Of course, I can't remember what really happened last week. Why did we jump it? We had to jump, I think, because of our meeting also. Yeah, we had a meeting, we had a conference. Now, the Northwest, Northeast, and North Central zones, they have the same semblance, of which I have sent out virtually the press releases to you on all the significant incidents where our troops were progressively sustained all our operations against all the criminalities. And then we had the usual, which with intensity, clearance operations, ambushes, air operations, which resulted in the killing of so many of the criminals. Of course, like I said, by the end of this month, we are going to do a review and update for you. Now, a look at the South-South zone. But before I go to the South-South zone, since Katsina is under this zone, let me now give you a summary of our activities. It's in the Northwest now. I bundled Northwest, Northeast, and North Central together. So I am not going to talk. I'm not talking in detail on any of them. But since Katsina is in these 3 zones, let me now give you, you need it. Because each place I went, they will tell us the story of what happened. You are not going to hear it from the mouth of the person that should speak on behalf of the operation Hadarin Daji, Katsina, Accord that is there. Of course, let me not go back into too much of preambles. What happened, the date, as you know, is still the same. The time was around 10:45 p.m. of that particular day, as we reported, as we reported, and the report was based on our visit. The Honorable Minister of Defense led a delegation comprising the National Security Advisor, Chief of Defense Staff, Chief of the Naval Staff, Chief of the Air Staff, Chief of Defense Intelligence, Inspector General of Police, the DG NIA, the DG State Services, and I was privileged to be in that team with other senior officers. The ground commanders were all there, all the component commanders of the services and other security agencies were there, and we were briefed. And in the briefing, yes, it happened, and information was passed across to them. Immediately, they entered the school compound, but before they got there, one of the policemen on the guard there was wounded seriously, which later died. Another one sustained injury. But before we got there, they came, according to them, with several motorcycles. Now, the assumption people are saying over 100 or whatever. Of course, in the fog of operation, fog of war. And that is why I'm always careful that to tell you specifically, it's good to wait a while. But the information, according to the briefing we got from the commanders on the ground, was that they came on motorcycles and started shooting sporadically into the air in the school compound. And in the course of that, so many of the children, started running helter-skelter. The population of the school, according to the information given, which was corroborated by the governor when we went to meet him at the government house, and also by the principal of the school, which when we went there also, I didn't go on that board, but the key senior officers and guest dignitaries that went right to the school and dialogue with the principal. Putting all together, yes, it happened at that time, and shooting sporadically, the children ran helter-skelter, and of course, they moved some of them. When the troops came, it was not in the best interest of saving life. People want to start exchanging direct fire. Of course, firing to scare was done, but not direct fire. Of course, the children were being used as human shield. Now, what is the aim? What is the end objective? What are you going to achieve when you are to go and rescue, protect them from carrying the children, and you end up killing them? So that was one of the things that happened, and it was brought out clear. Of course, in the hours of darkness, while that ensued, they moved the children. Of course, some on motorcycles, and some, according to one of the escapees that spoke to them before we came on Wednesday on Sunday, said that they moved and they trekked along routes. You know the terrain in that place is a terrain of cross-country nature, that you can move across country. And of course, that was what happened. Even some people were saying they had exchange of fire. Operations go on that place day and night. So exchange of gunfires has been reported lately, could be responsible, could be as a result of other operations, kinetic operations, that the farm patrol, the confidence building patrol, the night patrols, which had achieved its own effect ever since and is still being sustained. So it is not direct fire. So the indirect fire that was used was because those children must or should, as a matter of necessity, be rescued alive. So that was what happened. On and on. And the delegation from the federal government led by the Honorable Minister of Defense also interfaced with the government of Katsina State, and then things were looked at objectively. Areas that there should be improvement on save our children in the school and all those programs and all were discussed. Of course, now one thing that came out clear was that you do threat analysis, and it is in the practice, the characteristics, the trend of terrorists to begin to identify, as it were, soft targets. The moment they are losing strength and ground in their area of strength, they now look for soft targets. That was what happened. But as I speak with you, all the security agencies in that area and even beyond, up to higher echelons, are reviewing and constantly changing the plans to be commensurate to tackle the situation as they unfold. That is what happened. We were there, and of course the Honorable Minister and the service chiefs went right to the school, interfaced with the principal, commiserated with the parents. They went to the palace of the emir, the chief of Kankara, and also they interfaced with him, and then commiserated with the parents, and committed and promised that everything is being done from the information we have at hand to ensure that the children are rescued alive. All other information that you are getting, of course, they are subject to, they are true, but of course, like I told you, we don't give our own information black and white over the air because it is not done anywhere in the world. It's rather good that the population we have now is an information age. They need a lot, but we also need to protect them. There is an information, or there are information we give you that will not be for your good and for the good of the people that we are now trying to do what? Trying to rescue, and for the good of your own armed forces, members of the security agents who are your brothers and sisters. We don't have any person from the moon. We don't have any person from another country. We don't have foreigners in our armed forces. They are your own. So it is a collective objective of operation security to ensure that once we put anything together, we succeed. So up till this morning, I can tell you that I was in touch with them in the field, and the effort to ensure that those children are not hurt is still on, while kinetic action is also on to ensure their safety, amongst others that you might have had. So that is the situation in the general area of that operation. By the time I finish quickly with the next two paragraphs of this, my briefing, you can now shoot your questions. So let me quickly brief you about the south, and then the southwest. Of course, those ones, they deal with our economic zones. The armed forces of Nigeria, in conjunction with other security agencies operating in the Operation Delta Safe Area of Responsibility, carried out comprehensive anti-illegal refinery and anti-oil theft operations in the South-South zone. The operations led to the discovery and immobilization of several illegal refineries and forestalling of other activities of economic saboteurs. Notably, on the 3rd of December 2020, some repentant cultists surrendered weapons to troops of 29 Battalion and Nigerian police at Bodo community in Gakama local government area of Rivers State. The weapons surrendered include 4 AK-47 rifles, 5 G3 rifles, 2 pump-action guns, 2 locally made pistols, 1 den gun, 1 K2 rifle, 1 pump machine rifle, 13 magazines, and 240 rounds of ammunition. Meanwhile, on the 6th of December, troops of 103 Battalion discovered 8 illegal oil refineries at Iyalama and Jalikiri general areas in Akukuturu local government area of Rivers State. The illegal refineries were immobilized by troops and the area secured to deter reactivation of the facilities. In a similar development on the 3rd of December, troops of 29 Battalion discovered and immobilized an illegal refinery containing about 5,000 liters of illegally refined automotive gas oil at Rumuikwe community in Nemoha local government area of Rivers State. While troops of 146 Battalion on the same day discovered and immobilized 3 reactivated illegal refining sites containing 6 boilers, 12 storage tanks, and 1 wooden boat with illegally refined petroleum products around Okiri and Ijopiri in Boni local government area of the state. More so, on the same day, troops of 103 Battalion immobilized a warehouse containing 53 jerrycans of illegally refined automotive gas oil along Abonema, Obunoma Road in Akukuturu local government area. Relatedly, on the 5th of December, troops of 29 Battalion discovered and immobilized 3 illegal oil refining sites around Bulu 1, 2, and 3, as well as Tupsoi in Okubulu local government area. On the same day, troops immobilized illegal refinery sites along Ikata and Edoha in Nahoda, East local government area, while troops of 19 Battalion intercepted and immobilized 2 wooden boats laden with illegally refined automotive gas oil along Tunana Creek in Wari South local government area of Delta State. Also on same day, troops of 146 Battalion intercepted and immobilized 4 wooden boats and an unspecified quantity of crude oil around Oruturu and Peterside in Boni local government area. In another development, on the 6th of December, troops of 103 Battalion immobilized 3 wooden boats mounted with 40 horsepower outboard engines around Sama Creek in the state. Also on the same day, troops of 3 Battalion arrested 4 pipeline vendors with 3 gas cylinders, 1 local boat, 1 sledgehammer, 1 nozzle, and a hose at Kusumi community in Wari Southwest local government area of Delta State. On the 7th of December, troops of 146 Battalion demobilized illegal refining sites containing 7 boilers, reservoirs, and a storage tank laden with illegally refined petroleum products around Borutoro and Okutumbi in Boni local government area of Rivers State. Now, quick look at the southwest, where we have Operation Awase, who have continued to intensify the fight against bambline finders, economic saboteurs, and other criminals. In the zone, on the 3rd of December, troops of 3-2 Artillery Brigade, in conjunction with personnel of the Nigerian Police Force, Nigerian Civil Defense Corps, and Drug Law Enforcement Agency arrested 2 suspected drug peddlers with 59 bags of Indian hemp along Ala Road in Akure South local government area of Ondo State. Similarly, troops of Nigerian Navy Forward Operating Base in Bokora arrested a suspected kidnapper at Asere in Eseudu local government area of the state. The suspect has been handed over to the appropriate agency for further necessary action. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, in all, for the 2 weeks period or thereabouts, the Military High Command hereby encourages the troops and personnel of other security agencies to remain determined and sustain the tempo in all our joint operations areas. The High Command also reassures the general public of our untiring dedication towards securing the country at all times. Members of the general public are enjoined to continue providing timely information on the activities of criminals in their various localities to the military and other security agencies for prompt and effective action. Thank you. If I am to be on any media engagement of a key issue like this, and I will need to let you know, I will try my best. However, my constraint in that regard is that sometimes it's at very short notice, and then following closely is the fact that there are times I may not be able to honor it due to other competing requirements for the nature of my office and my level in the armed forces. So I would tell them, look, I may not be able to make it, but let us. So if now I now put you on a specific, that means you also you may have to adjust your programs at short notice. However, I will try to do that. But as we are talking, something came to my mind. If not that, what I can do is that for anything, for the situation like we went to Katsina immediately on Sunday, the following day, there's nothing wrong in me or us rather arranging for a press conference to call everybody quickly and then address you, to avoid going from one place to the other, because I know that from other areas like the traditional media and co, they will put pressure, and when I look at it as a human being and patriotic nature that we are trained to be, I would say, look, the people need to hear now. Today I had to go to 2 places which was not, not too good health-wise for me and the nature of the office. Wake up early from one place, you're dashing to the other place. Because information that is not given in time, sometimes it has its own disadvantages at all. Before people's mind begin to settle on perception. For instance, where a video was, trending in the air, Boko Haram, purported Shakal, said they are the people claiming. I told people, listen to it very well. He said our brothers. He did not say him. And then that man, did you see him? There are questions I will keep asking, just like the question of answers until eternity. Did you see him? Did you prove it? They'll say, no, he said, and you believe it. Now, do you know the history of how terrorists behave? Anything that happens, they take it and they use it for propaganda. So that one again is another way, because you need to address issue immediately before it gets too far. So I will try that, my dear, and attempt. But for me, we'll still look at it in our cell to see whether quickly, any way we will not allow you to be under too much pressure. That I can assure you. If it means communicating you that, look, I'm going to appear on NTA, I'm going to appear on Galaxy, I'm going to appear on Court TV, I will let you know. But if the best way for all of us is to quickly arrange a press meeting like this, we do it, then it now solves it. Then everybody will go out with uniform. I still believe in that. Then the other one is about, you condole with me about the incident of COVID-19. It has brought to the fore the need for all of us to be more serious than ever. Nobody should take it lightly. Like, the army took it seriously. It is rather unfortunate we all felt it, that General Rafin passed on in that way. And of course, anyone that, have attributed to COVID-19, for me, it is to prove that, look, this thing is real. Don't take it for granted. So that is the same way the armed forces is taking it. As I speak with you, you are all following. I'm on the platform. I think several hundreds have been tested. Even some asymptomatic, no symptoms, nothing. Some inconclusive. Even if it is inconclusive, the advice I will give as a person is to do what? Take prophylactic treatment. The treatment is not something they are going to bring the drugs from the moon. There are things, according to what they have told us, you also must have seen, are things that are known and practices. There are all those things that are put. So once you do that, now the thing can be cleansed again within the. So if if you listen to the explanation and follow it, the whole course, if you are tested positive, according to what they have told us, I'm not an authority in that regard, I think it's about between first 1 to 14 days and then 21 days. So the army is taking it seriously. And I can say that, yes, we have very capable medical personnel in the armed forces, those that have been trained. In short, the one that is coordinating the one for the army now, for those everybody being tested, is very, very effective and has been getting accolades. The same thing we have transferred to the fields. So we are not leaving any stone untouched. Once the troops know that, as it were, we have their interests at heart and all the remedies are there. The remedy of taking precautions, hand washing, all those things, they are all there. They will take your sample. Now there is the one that, the quick one, not the PSG also, that they can take within 15 minutes, the result is out. If it is positive, then they now go further to confirm. If it is confirmed before you go for treatment. So all those things are in place. And then the drugs that they are using for them are drugs that even me, I know. Common drugs, all you need to do is to be disciplined and follow it. So that has been transferred to all the theaters of operation and the barracks. So once We soldiers, once we know that what we need to live and fight are available, problem solved. The man's mind is on doing what? Capturing the objective. So be assured that, particularly for the army that brought it out, the chief of army staff has taken it upon himself and his team, the admin branch, the acting corps commander medicals, and they are handling it effectively. And even some were not confirmed that, tested positive earlier, they will see they are on treatment and they are now normal. All of them, even those that were asymptomatic, very few of them that were symptomatic, who didn't know that it was something that they thought it was malaria. The report I got this morning on this platform is that all the symptoms have gone. So they will now wait for some days and test them again to see when they are negative, and they will keep them until they are negative. So I can assure Nigerians that the armed forces is not left. And for the Air Force, yes, they are doing it. I also can talk for the Navy. In short, the Navy, most of all their hospitals, they run the tests. So that is the approach that has been taken. And once that is done, and like everybody is expectant, the vaccine comes and they vaccinate, I think we'll now begin to work to live with it. That is, live with it in focus, not to assume. Okay, the next person. Is the army part of it, or he asked that? Okay, good. And then you now ask whether we are still going on with kinetics. Okay, good. For those two questions, the first one is that normally I don't know from history where the military or the armed forces there go into negotiations when it comes to ransom. I don't know about that, and I don't have any record. I would have told you yes, and then give you the reason, but I don't have any record. And then when we were briefed and have been following up. There is nothing in that regard connecting the armed forces with negotiation. That I can tell you, I can confirm it. Two, if the governor is doing that, he is a father. He is seeing it from a larger perspective. Every person have their part to play to ensure that these children come out on hot. But that does not mean whether there is negotiation or no negotiation, kinetic, maybe, let me conceptualize it now in a slightly broader form. It's not to carry gun and point it at 90 degrees and shoot. That is only kinetic. Even if you are mounting patrol, even if it's show of force, anything you do militarily that is covered under your terms of rules of engagement for a particular situation is a kinetic operation. So we don't stop our kinetic operation for any reason, not at all. We don't lose our guards, because the second reason is that most times, even if these people are talking, they talk with their two mouths. We don't believe them and take them for their words totally. We only take them for the actions that we see, according to whatever people are saying. So please, and I want to plead with you, I know you are recording this thing. Go and sieve out. If you now go and send it, if I don't tell you, problem. If I now go and tell them, say, we are not seizing kinetically, you have created problem for this meeting. And I want to use it to indict you, to know how to see the information that goes out. And that was why I now put it as placing gun. Because one of the children came out that was in the air, told the parents, they say you should go and tell them to stop disturbing us with helicopter, to stop hovering around us. Those things are not good for security purposes. So if I were you, like I told you, I have submitted myself, I have sacrificed myself. God has kept me these 34 years. If I say an inch go from here now, thank God, Thanksgiving in Dunamis International Gospel Center, both at Abuja and Adi Piorokam. So, gentlemen, I want you people to be sensitive, to know what you give out. If I don't give you, you will be tensed up. He did not say it, that he said, no, we are stopping, we are not stopping. This is information for you to know how to manage. And that is why I refuse to write so many things down. Let me talk so that it will be recorded. So please, ladies and gentlemen, there is nowhere in the world, in any military, where you say you now stop your kinetic actions package. It's a total package. Because negotiations are purportedly going on. No, it's not done. Go and look at this statement. I need to balance it for you. I think those are the two areas he wanted to know. Good. That's good. And that is one of the things I owe you. As at today, I was in touch with them as at 8 a.m. before entering the studio to get information. I'm yet to get the 12-hourly report. But as at today, it still remains that the 333 I told you on Sunday, the 17 reported by the governor that came out, that is the figure we are working with. There were other ones that I got, but if I give you that, it will attract more questions and more worries. Nobody is dead. We have not received anything that any of them is dead from the information that we have, monitoring the situation. So that is it. And then the troops are on guard. As it were, they started patrolling the whole of that area, which I will not give you the specifics, to ensure that from the information we gathered from the government house, from the security operatives, from the other than military security sources of information, that they are intact, and then we rescue them alive, whichever way, head or tail. So that is the situation as at this morning, and I believe up short when I came here, if there is anything you would have told me, I would have relayed it to you accordingly. As a terrorist organization, before March this year, before we even went into Operation Katsina, Operation Hadar and Daji, the bandits became like lords because of the way they operated several years, that they had authority over people. Before you go to farm, you pay, they will go and hang around farm, you carry anything past, they come, they roast to your animal, you don't talk, all those manner of things, until they began to set up various, local vigilantes, Yansakai and all those things amongst themselves, fighting themselves for years. They became like lords, semi-gods. So what is the difference psychologically between when you say Boko Haram, ISWAP, and now bandits? The contact and the relationship between the genuine law-abiding citizens of that area is no different. And now they know that Boko Haram, the terrorists, they don't have any authority again in the real sense of it. They don't have any stronghold again. No strength in action, no strength in sovereignty at all. But to continue to encourage their discreet followers, and in quote, if I'm permitted to say their sponsors, they want to show relevance. And that's why they say they claim responsibility. If you listen to that clip, I will repeat, he said, my brothers. So his brothers acting for him. So where did he say that I went there? Is he bold enough to ever come out? Never. So that is propaganda, and that is a way, because what we do is that we analyze, we study the trend of every criminality. Robbery, if it was when it was conventional warfare, the same thing, you study the trend, we call it enemy habit. It is a habit of the enemy to use propaganda to continue to boost their ego and then their whatever they are doing. So we don't want the public to take it line, hook and sinker. However, we don't push it abroad. We don't, because some people might have escaped from active terrorism, infiltrated into other localities like the Northwest, and then begin to do what? To engineer, to begin to do what? Educate, brainwash other people. Western education is bad. You understand? So that one we are not taking it for granted. But the assurance that we have is that, like I told people, we did not import Major General John Enenche from anywhere. I was created here. Every member of the armed forces of Nigeria are all Nigerians. You have the Idoma man there, you have the Igbo man there, you have all tribes, if not all this complete. So we are our brothers, we cannot. And then the interest of the military man, when you are talking about all distractions, the man in the 140 is never distracted. He is thinking of how to deliver the task you gave him. How do I capture the enemy? In this case, the bandits, how do I clear them? So we are committed to that. And they asked me a question this morning, you are a father. I am a father of children that all of them, the one I have, they are almost all adults. But I tell you that my heart still pants for them. These are people I'm telling her, you should get married. You are up to the age of marriage. If you are psychologically free, but you are up to the age now. Yet, I still ask them questions when I get home. Have you eaten? That is the mind, the heartbeat of every military officer in Nigeria. These are our children. They are our very own. It bears a lot psychologically on us. And we are deciding that the case can never and shouldn't be as it were. And that is why we are now encouraging you to please not to probe me into giving you all the details. But we are not sleeping. It takes us nothing to tell you a lie, but it will take us destruction before God. And to have failed in our responsibility if we don't tell you the truth. The truth is that no sleeping for anybody. No sleeping for all of us. We are all there with the other security agencies working day and night to ensure that these children come out of this experience alive as soon as possible. Thank you.